ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयामुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। भागवतम नित्यं सेवया नो भागवत सेवया भागवतम सेवया। हरे कृष्णा। ओके, we have 3 shlokas pending in last chapter. श्री उद्धव उवाच गुणेषु वर्तमानोऽपि देहजेष्वनपावृतः गुणैर्न बध्यते देहि बद्धयते वा कथं विभो बद्धयते वा कथं विभो बद्धयते वा कथं विभो है बद्धयते है बध्यते कैसा है बद्धयते अरे ये संस्कृत में गलत लिखा संस्कृत में गलत लिखा है बद्धयते इंग्लिश में बध्यते लिखा संस्कृत में बद्धयते लिखा देख रहे हैं ना दोनों में गलत गलत है इंग्लिश में बध्यते लिखा संस्कृत में बद्धयते लिखा अरे वो या ऐसा नहीं है ना ये या तो फुल या है बद्धयते हैं इंग्लिश में बध्यते हैं और संस्कृत में बद्धयते हैं आप मत बोलिए यार आप संस्कृत प्लीज ये ये तमिल नहीं है भाई ये देवनागरी है प्लीज बद्धयते एक्चुअली इंग्लिश में गलत है बध्यते नहीं है गुण ही बध्यते बद्धयते हैं प्रभु इधर भी बद्धयते ही है जो फोलियो है जब यार आना है बध्यते लिखना है तो ऐसा लिखना है बध्यते ऐसा होगा हाँ दा आधा होना चाहिए ना जो ऐसा ही संस्कृत में ऐसा होगा ये ऐसा आएगा है ना ये इसको ऐसा लगेगी लेकिन जब या पूरा है तो ठीक है थिंक ही संस्कृत इज आधा स्कॉलर है फिर बोला संस्कृत आता नहीं कुछ आता नहीं केवल वेदांत पढ़ना चाहता है हाफ स्कॉलर। जब संस्कृत सीखो तब तो कुछ तो होगा। चलो, क्या क्या चल रहा है एक्चुअली? हाँ, व्हाट इज गोइंग ऑन इन? क्या कहना चाहते हैं उद्धव? व्हाट ही वांट्स टू से? सिद्ध बाबा जी नहीं है? सिद्धि प्राप्त हो गया क्या उनका? आप लोग इतना लेट क्यों आते हैं दोनों? चलो, क्या है? व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ दिस? सो रामकृष्ण प्रभु, रीड द ट्रांसलेशन।
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Sri Uddhava said, O my Lord, a living entity situated within the material body is surrounded by the modes of nature and the happiness and distress that are born of activities caused by these modes. How is that possible that he is not bound by this material encirclement? It may also be said that the living entity is ultimately transcendental and has nothing to do with the material world. Then, how is he ever bound by material nature?
So what you understood?
Uddhava is putting forward his comment stating that if the living entity is eternal and is transcendental in his position, how is that the material modes of nature causing happiness and distress are born by the activities of these modes associated with the living entity? That's his first question. And the second part of it is, if he is already transcendental and has nothing to do with the material world, how is that he becomes bonded within this material nature?
So actually this Anvaya of this sloka, so Sridhar Swami's Anvaya is modified by Jiva Goswami and he gave the modified version. So we have to see that. So what he is saying, Deheshu, Dehajeshu, I am reading from Jiva Goswami's commentary. Dehajeshu Gunesh, that means how to take the meaning of this sloka. So he is explaining here. How he is explaining, you see, Dehajeshu Guneshu Vartamanopi Katam Taihi na Badyate. So here you see, both forms are possible. Baddayate, Badyate, both. So Badyate. So Taihi na Badyate iti Anvayaha. So that means, what is the meaning of this? Dehajeshu Guneshu Vartamanopi, even living entity is in the modes. So is in the modes means those modes are producing the body, subtle and gross bodies. So that means Jivatma being in the modes means what? Jivatma being in the products of the modes. What are those? Huh? Huh? Arey, products of the modes. What are the products of the modes? Products of the modes. Products of the modes are the body. What I'm saying, body. That means Jivatma being in the modes means what? Jivatma being in body. Material. Sukshma and Stula, Sarira. So being in that, how it is not bounded by those modes? This is the one question. Guneshu Vartamanopi, Dehajeshu Guneshu Vartamanopi, Gunaihi na badyate katham. Katham Gunaihi na badyate. That means even Jivatma is in the modes, means Jivatma is in the body, but how it is not bounded by those gunas, but by those that body. How it is not bounded by that body? This is the one question. Next question is what? Anavrutaschet. So vartamanatvepi anavrutaschet. Anavruta means anapavrutah. अरे स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक्स हर जगह इधर उधर सब. इधर अनावृत, अनपावृतः, अपावृतः. So apavruta, anapavruta means being uncovered. That means Jivatma is anapavritaha. That means Jivatma cannot be covered. Then if it is not covered, then how Jivatma being in the body, we are say Jivatma is entangled, Jivatma is binded by the gunas. How it is possible? Jiva Jivatma is anapavritaha. That means it cannot be covered. It cannot be covered. Then how that Jivatma is bounded by modes? Two questions. Understood? But
bound in body. And second is anavibritam.
Anahurtu.
Huh?
Ananumprita. Anarpita chari. Anarpita charita. Charam chirat. Jivatma being in the modes means being in the products of the modes. That is nothing but grass and subtle body. Being in the gross and subtle body, being in gross and subtle body, how Jivatma is not bounded by modes. पानी में है लेकिन पानी से छुआ नहीं है, ये कैसा होता है? वैसा. Next is what? Jivatma is anapavritaha. That means it cannot be covered. It is uncovered. But such a Jivatma, how it is covered by the modes? That means how uncovered Jivatma is covered by, is bounded by, is binded, is bound. Bind, bound है ना? Huh? Bound then. Is not bound by. How uncovered Jivatma is not bound by modes? What is the problem? What is uncovered, you are asking? Huh? What is uncovered? Uncovered means uncovered means what? Uncovered means Jivatma is Chinmaya. Okay? Modes, three modes are Jadamayam. So in this way, so Jivatma is Chinmaya, that is the meaning of Anapavritaha. That means both are having the different nature. So how you can mix the petrol and water? Yes, can you mix? Because both are different in nature. So that's the point here. Anapavrita means Jivatma is completely is different characteristics it is having, and modes are having the different characteristics. Then how can you cover? It means with respect to the modes, Jivatma is completely a different material. How it can be covered? So this is a question asked by Uddhava. Why he asked this question? क्या काम आया what work? क्या आया उनको? क्या काम आया? कोई काम नहीं है क्या? Why he asked? Because nanucha bhavan mate moksha eva purushartha avagatah sacha bhakti gnana vairagya abhyasat bhavati tasmin sati purusha mukta uchite iti maya na vadyate ityaha. So because Krishna is explaining in the this chapter what? In first 13 slokas he explained how so Jivatma can be liberated. Yes? Right wing or left wing? What wing he explained? Right wing he explained or left wing? Jnanis are left wing, Bhaktas are right wing. You should remember this. Because if you draw a picture, left side will be the Jnanis and Bhaktas are the right side, right wing. We are all right wing, okay? So he explained left wing. And so that's why he is asking, that's why Uddhava is asking, hey, why this? You are saying the liberation. Tell me about this liberation. And tell me about this bondage. So how this Jivatma, which is really a different material, is covered by these modes? That is, I am not able to understand. And also, Jivatma being in these modes, you are saying liberation. That means they are liberated, you all said, but still they are in the body. How it is possible? How they are liberated? Still being in the body. And first of all, tell me how this different material, which can be binded by, which can be bound by modes. Tell me. Okay, this is the question. Purport I am not reading. I will not read purports. You can read. In at Bhakti Vedantis can read the purport. You are all Bhakti Vedantis. Okay, next sloka. Okay. Huh? Sandhi Muni Prabhu will rose every day. He will note down the important points in the purports. I will explain the sloka, then he will read out the purport highlights tomorrow onwards. Okay. I should give homework. Yeah. Next. Katham vartet viharet कैर्वा ज्ञायेत लक्षणैः किं भुञ्जीते किं भुञ्जीतोत विसृजेत. What is that? चयितासीत याति वा एतदुच्यत मे ब्रूहि प्रश्नं प्रश्नविदां वर नित्यबद्धो नित्यमुक्त एक एवेति मे भ्रमः. Sandipur Muni Prabhu translation.
O my Lord Achyuta, the same living entity is sometimes described as eternally conditioned and at the other times as eternally liberated. I am not able to understand, therefore, the actual situation of the living entity. You, my Lord, are the best of those who are expert in answering philosophical questions. Please explain to me the symptoms by which one can tell the difference between a living entity who is eternally liberated and one who is eternally conditioned. In what various ways would they remain situated, enjoy life, eat, evacuate, lie down, sit, or move about?
Wow. Uddhava is very intellectual question he asked. What is he saying? Okay. So first question is this. First, that means 35th sloka. In 36 and 37, he's saying that Nitya Baddha Nitya Muktaha, eternally liberated, eternally bounded. What is this philosophy? I don't know. How one can be eternally so binded by the modes? How one eternally one is bound by the modes? How? That means that's for the infinite time. That jiva is like that only. What it mean? And eternally liberated. What it mean? If liberation is also produced, and anything produced, it will be destroyed. So what is the meaning of eternally liberated? So these points I don't know. And how they look, how they eat, how they sit, how they stand, how to know what are the symptoms of those people? Liberated, eternally liberated, and eternally conditioned. So eternally conditioned, eternally liberated. So I want the symptoms. Lakshanaihi jnayeta. Kaihi lakshanaihi jnayeta. By which symptoms we can come to know all of these. Nityamuktaha Dattatreya Bharatadihi. Nityabaddaha Devadattaha Yagnadattaha Yagnadattadihi. Yagnadatta or Devadatta? Devadatta is conditioned, so because Devadatta means anyone. We are all Devadattas. And Dattatreya is different, is a Lord, Bharata. So they are all, so few examples are given. Nityamuktaha Dattatreya or Bharat. Or Devadatta, Nityabadda, Devadatta, Yagnadatta, all general common people. Dattadihi Tulya Daihika Kriyatvadeka eva iti. Dattatreya is also begging and eating. Jadabharat is also begging and eating. They are also walking, they are also sleeping, they are also doing everything. Speaking, going. And also Devadatta and Yagnadatta also speaking, eating, so passing, sleep. All these doing. Then what? Externally, if you see, both are doing same. But we say Bharata Maharaj, Bharat, Jadabharat, Dattatreya, they are all eternally liberated. And Yagnadatta, Devadatta, we say eternally conditioned. What is this? Like Srila Prabhupada is also doing so many activities, traveling in a car, is climbing, is flying in the aeroplane and going, meeting. And Babajis are sitting in the Barsana and doing the japa. What is the difference? Both are pure devotees. How to understand? Yes. And also common people also is eating, sleeping, traveling in aeroplane. So one is said as pure devotee. Arjuna is also fighting. Duryodhana also fighting. One is eternally liberated, another is eternally conditioned. How it is? So how it is? Both are doing same thing. Shooting the arrows, killing the enemies, and after that evening time, sleeping in their tent. How it is? How to identify pure devotee? That is not there, but just I am adding. He is asking only how to identify eternally liberated and eternally conditioned. This much he is asking. Okay, you have to think for this also. How to identify a pure devotee? He may looks Anyavilasha Sunyam Gnana Karma Dhyanavritam Anukulyana Krishnanu Bhaktiruttama. So he is also doing the karma. Bharata Maharaj is doing the karma. Bharata Maharaj is doing karma or not? Prahlad Maharaj is doing karma or not? He is ruling the whole kingdom. So many affairs. He is issues solving. Even the Dhruva Maharaj is also, after getting the darshan of the Lord, he is also doing he performed so many yajnas, hundreds and thousands of yajnas. And what is this? He didn't. Actually, generally we know that. So purely devotion means devotion. That's all. There should not be any mix. There is ananya. Pure devotion means ananya bhakti, means there is no gnana karmadi avrutam. There should not be. That means avrutam means their consciousness is not dependent on the gnana, karma, money, yes, family, relatives, rituals, this, that, no. Huh? So this is the anavrutam. Their bhakti is not covered by all this. But they are all doing all big kingdoms they are ruling. But how? How they are considered as pure devotee? Prahlad Maharaj is pure devotee or not? But he is doing all the other work. So Dhruva Maharaj is pure devotee or not? Yes. But he is not didn't wear the saffron dress. He married the girl. What is this? 36,000 years he ruled the kingdom. So how to understand this? What is the magic of this pure devotion? Is it really depends upon the externals? Is it depends upon the what? How to identify a pure devotee? That you will see in the next coming chapters. Those also will be coming. all varieties of the bhakti is going to discuss. Krishna is going to discuss. Very important chapters. Already we missed. Not missed. You all covered, but I missed actually. Now yogis. That's the Bhagavad Dharma. Many things he discussed already in the third chapter 4. That's now yogis, second and third chapters. Okay, so point is how to identify eternally liberated and conditioned souls. Okay, next canto we'll go to the next chapter. Thus the end, the purports of the humble servants of His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, to the 11th canto, 10th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Nature of the Fruitive Activity. Next, the symptoms of a conditioned and liberated living entities. So, Sri Bhagavanu Vacha Baddho Mukta iti Vyakhya Gunato Mena Vastutaha Gunasya Maya Mulatvat Name Moksho na Bandhanam. Questions are already shooted. Now answer is given.
The Supreme Personality
Yes,
of
sir.
Godhead said,
Yeah.
My dear Uddhav, due to the influence of the material modes of nature, which are under my control, the living entity is sometimes designated as conditioned and sometimes as liberated. In fact, however, the soul is never really bound up or liberated. And since I am the Supreme Lord of Maya, which is the cause of the modes of nature, I also am never to be considered liberated or in bondage.
Wow. What a answer Krishna gave. What is the question of Uddhava? So how this Jivatma being in the modes is not so bound by those modes? And also second question is Jivatma is different material. It is material means it's different substance, and that is how is bound by the modes. This is the questions he asked. Then Krishna said that Vastutaha me gunataha, so na baddha mukto iti vyakya. That means the conception of baddha mukta is not real. Finished game. Not real means he is not accepting the concept of liberated and bound. That means, yeah. This concept, why? Bondage. So no bondage and no liberation. Iti, that means baddho mukto iti vyakya me gunatah na vastutah. That means it is not real. That means they are only because of my maya. Me gunatah na vastutah. That means this conditioning or otherwise liberation are just due to my maya, but not actual they are. Gunasya maya mulatvat. But these gunas are coming from where? Who is the root of these gunas? That is maya. Maya is the root for these gunas. So then there is no concept of. That's why na moksha, na bandhanam. Because moksha, bandhanam created by whom? By maya. So then that's why that maya is not real. So that's why bandhanam moksha is also not real. Finish. But Sridhar Swami took the very advantage of Jhalak Diya actually. He Jhalak, that means Jhalak Diya man, he glimpsed Mayavadi philosophy here. But Jiva Goswami didn't take that explanation. He said that according to my opinion, he gave two explanations, Sridhar Swami. First explanation he didn't take, second explanation he took, and he told that this is my opinion. Second explanation is my opinion. We read na in the Tattva Sundarbha. So Sridhar Swami sometimes write commentaries which are just liking to the Mayavadis. Yeah. So but Swamiji, whatever he wrote, I will not follow as it is, because it should be in line with our Uddhav Vaishnavas, Ramanuja and Samadva. Then only we'll take. So something is not in line with the Vaishnavism, then I will not take. Like that he already said. So that's why here also he is saying same thing. He's not going to take the first explanation. So first explanation. So let us see I will directly go to actually best way. Vishwanath Thakur very nicely he elaborated. He also took the second explanation of Sridhar Swami and elaborated nicely so that it is going to cover all the complete sloka. So that's why I'm going with the Vishwanath, Baba Vishwanath. Tatra Jiva Goswami is saying, you see, Tatra Ditiya Vyakyane me matam. That means second commentary, second explanation is my opinion also. Iti Sheshaha. So Maya Mulatvaditi Maya Tat Sambandhasya Mityeva. So see here the sloka, how the explanation is very interesting explanation. What he is saying that this bandhanam and moksha both are na. That means na bandhanam, na moksha he is saying. Why this liberation and bondage both are due to Maya. So gunas, they are both are due to gunas. That's why they are not actual, he's saying. And after that, that Maya is also is because that gunas are also coming from the Maya. So that's why the bandhanam and moksham is not there. So that's why bondage and liberation are due to what? They are due to gunas. That means modes. Modes are the cause. Okay. So and these modes are coming from whom? Modes are coming from Maya. And that's why, therefore, there is no bond. Now he will say that what he is giving one more thing actually here. Here Sridhar Swami he took as it is, because according to the Advaita philosophy, what? Maya is mithya. And this is Advaita philosophy will sit very nicely here actually. Because Maya is mithya. And that's why, so modes also mithya, everything. And liberation is also mithya. Bondage and liberation also mithya. So ultimately, so only Nirvishesh Chinmatar Satma is there. Very, this sloka is very much directly hinting to the Advaita philosophy. But our explanation, our acharyas, they said, what they said, they are not taking the Maya as mithya. They are not taking our acharyas, both. Our acharyas, how they are taking? Maya is not mithya, but the relationship between Maya and Jiva is mithya. The relationship between these two is mithya. That is the point they are saying, our acharyas. So Maya is true, Jivatma is also true, but the relationship is not false. That means Shashishrangatvam. That means the rabbit is true, horn is also true, but rabbit horn is false. That means the relationship between rabbit and horn is wrong, is mithya. Like that we take. They say this material world is like what? Shashishrangaha. It's false, which is not there. Did you find this Shashishrangaha, the horn of the rabbit? No. But how we are interpreting horn of the rabbit? Yeah, we also take that only. We say rabbit is true, horn is true, but rabbit horn is not true. That means the relationship between rabbit and horn is not true. So that is the point we are saying actually. That's why here Jiva Goswami, what he is saying, Maya Mulatvaditi Maya Yaha Tat Sambandasya Mityeva. So that means Jivatma. So the relationship between Jivatma, that means Jivatma identifying this body as my body. That means identifying this material world, this is my house. This is wrong actually. Jivatma is true, house is true, but the relationship between Jivatma and house is false. That is the point we are saying. Yes, Jivatma is also eternally energy of the Lord, and house is also energy of the Lord. But falsely Jivatma is saying that this is my house, this is my body. This is wrong. Identifying false relationship. The relationship between Jiva and Maya is false, is mithya. Okay. So our Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying, first of all, in this chapter we are going to discuss Ekadashe Baddham Mukta Vailakshanyasya Shikshanam. Baddha Mukta Vailakshanyasya. That means the difference between the liberation and bondage will be taught. Next, Sadhunam Lakshanam, the characteristics of the sadhus. Next, Bhaktehe Anganyapi Uktavan Harihi. Also, the limbs of the bhakti are also mentioned in this. Three things. The difference between the liberation and bondage, the characteristics of the sadhus, and the various limbs of the bhakti. These three things are explained in this chapter. So, okay, now Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying on this sloka, Katam moksha katam bandha iti tatra prashnoyam vastutah na ghatate ityaha. That means, hey, Uddhav, your question itself is wrong. You are asking that how, that means Jivatma being, so Chit Chinmaya Swarupa, being Chinmaya Swarupa, how it is bounded by how it is bound by these modes. And also he asks, Jivatma being in the modes, how it is not bounded by modes, not bound by the modes. So like that he asked questions, and then he said, this bondage and liberation is, they are not fact, because they are coming from they are due to the modes, and modes are due to the Maya. So where Maya is mithya. So that means actually what it means, that means actually for the Jivatma also there is no bondage and liberation. This is the meaning Krishna is saying. For the Jivatma, there is no bondage and no liberation. Means, so Jivatma is Chit Padartha, and this is the Sariram, that means Sukshma Stula Sariram. So this Jivatma is completely Chit, Chinmaya Padartha, and this is Jadamaya Padartha. Both are different. So here, this bondage, whatever is there, that means with this bodies, subtle and gross bodies, the Jivatma's relationship with subtle and gross bodies is not eternal. It is not eternal. That means, what it means, this is a different material and this is a different material. So that's why there is no possibility of link between these two, connection between these two, because this is completely a different material, actually, completely different material. That's why, actually, like you see, Jivatma is Chinmaya and Lord is there. He is also Chinmaya. And there is a connection is there. This connection is eternal. But this connection is not eternal with the Maya. So that's why this Jivatma is always Suddha, is always pure. Jivatma is always pure. Shuddhopi vicheshte avishuddha kartuhu. Even it is very pure. That's why that means in the Swarupa of the Jivatma there is no bondage. Bondage is not there in the Swarupa of the Jivatma. It is outside to the Jivatma Swarupa. That's why it's not the bondage is not a Swarupa character, intrinsic. It's not an intrinsic characteristic of Jiva. It is external. It is only temporary, external, outside. This is that's why he's saying it's not real. That means he's sitting in the plane of Jivatma, and in that, so in that plane he's saying he's in the spiritual plane. If you see from the spiritual plane, then there is, because Jivatma is fully pure. So from there, if you see, this bondage and liberation are simply, they are false. So that's the point, actually. So that's a being it's a pure. So how can you say? Because they are not in the Swarupa. Bondage is not in the Swarupa of the Jiva. But connection with the Lord is there in the Swarupa of the Jiva. As a servant. Servitorship is there in the Jivas as an intrinsic characteristic. It's inherent characteristic of the Jiva. Subordinate to servant. Amsha means, that is the meaning of servant. Servitorship. If that quality is not there in the Jiva, that means subordinating or servitorship as intrinsic quality, then you cannot say that. That means, what is that sloka? Chaitanya Charitam. Krishnera Jivere Swarupar Krishnera Nityadas. Yeah. This Nityadasatvam. Nityadasatvam is the eternal characteristic of Jivatma. But the relationship with the Maya is not an eternal characteristic of Jivatma. Yeah. Intrinsic, that means Swarupagata Lakshanam Nasti Tat. So that's why he's saying, Na mokshaha na bandhanam. What you are saying, Uddhava, this question itself is. So that's why he's saying. So Acharya is saying, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, कथं मोक्षः कथं बन्धः इति तत्र प्रश्नोऽयं वस्तुतः न घटते इत्याह बद्ध इति मे मे गुणतः मदधीन सत्वादिगुणैः बद्धः इति ततः मुक्तः इति व्याख्या वस्तुतः न संभवति कुतः गुणस्य गुणसम्बन्धस्य मायामूलत्वात् मायायाः अविद्यया दुस्तर्कशक्त्या दुर्घटस्य देहेन्द्रियादिगुणसम्बन्धस्य मिथ्यैव स्फोरणात्. That's why the relationship with the Maya and the Jiva is mithya. But the Maya is not mithya, the Jiva is not mithya. The relationship. But how? But yeah, yes. But Prabhu, you are saying very good, nice. But how this Maya is completely a different material? Yes, you are saying this thing. So this Maya is completely made up of, is completely Jada, a different material. And this Jivatma is different. But how? But still in this material world, we are seeing this so much conditioned souls. How it is possible? It is completely different. Durvitarka Shakti. This is what? This Shakti, this Maya is. What is that? Dustarka Shaktya. Dustarka. That means this Maya is also inconceivable. It's not that only the Sarupa Shakti is inconceivable. Even Bahiranga Shakti is also inconceivable. It can do so things which are beyond your logic. Dustarka Shakti. Maya is eternal. Durgat. It makes which is impossible also possible. That's Maya's power. Don't underestimate. She will come in the dress of devotee. Huh? Her work is like Yamaras. Today, tomorrow, that means today in another sloka you will be seeing, Jiva Goswami is saying that she is a devotee, bhakta, like Yamaras. So that means Yamaraj is a Vaishnava and Maya is also Vaishnavi. So Yamaraj punishes the non-devotees and Yamaraj promotes devotees. Similarly, Maya also. If someone is a devotee, then she will not touch. She will not touch him. If one is not devotee, then she will take action on him. That is, she is not creating any disturbance to you. So you are creating disturbance to yourself. Because what is that? Why she is acting on someone? What is the reason? On whom Maya just attacks and she shows her powers. On whom? Like Yamaraj, whom he will attack. Everyone he will attack Yamaraj. Everyone he'll catches. No, no. Only sinful like that. So whom Maya will attack? Tirumala Swami. When Maya will attack? Mother.
The Jiva is
Huh?
not having the Paratattva Jnanam.
Wow.
Then
Yes. Yes, Mataji, yes. Not having the Paratattva Jnanam when you are not turned towards the Supreme Lord. Mameva ye prapadyante. Prapadyante means Sharanagati. Means beginning of the Ananya Bhakti. Yeah. So when you surrender fully, then Maya will leave. If you don't surrender to the Lord, then she will catch. So that's why is there any fault in the Maya? No. Only fault is there in us. We have to surrender, that's all. There is no option. Mameva prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. There is no option. So that's why if anyone that means surrendering to the Lord means trying to know about the glories of the Lord and accepting him as the one and only the person who can give the shelter for us. Not the karma, not the gnana, not the so and so. So if you have surrenderance to other things also, it is not gnana karma dhyanavritam. that kind of bhakti. So whenever you surrender completely to the Lord, then only your Ananya Bhakti starts. That is a bhakti. You're understanding? So that's why the complete surrenderance is full surrenderance is demanded by the Lord. Until unless if you even we should not make the shortcuts just by, oh, this is Kali Yuga, no problem, just so merciful. Lord is merciful. Kali Yuga, Lord is merciful, and so no problem. Whatever I do, I have dependency, my surrenderance on all other things, and what Lord will be taking out, He will take care. And what about the Bhagavad Gita then? Tell me. Bhagavad Gita is everything is wrong. My God. My God.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Conveniently, the Jiva adjusts his own philosophy.
Yes, Prabhu, that is there.
That is why he creates his own Gita, and wherever he wants it, he will apply it to Maya or to himself be under the Maya.
Left and right, whenever there is a possibility is there, just make a convenient philosophy. Wherever there is needed, then glorify the bhakti like that. So even I have not surrendered, so she will take care. So that is that's a society is now is attacked by this. This is the way the Kali attacks on the devotees. That means when are conveniently uprising. That means whenever, okay, give the such a glorious, wow, it looks also to hear very beautiful, but it's a wrong philosophically. It's a wrong philosophy, nonsense in the society. This is leading to the Sahajya. Yes, that happened before Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Misunderstanding that the principles of pure devotion is leading to the disturbance in the society. And it looks so beautiful lecture. What is beautiful? Yeah. Yeah. And everyone also, wow, wow, wow. So very, very subtle actually. If we should understand because the philosophy is also very subtle, and then Maya, that means the Kali also, Maya also attacks very subtly actually. Many times you don't know that you are already in the trap of the Maya. You are already attacked by the Maya. Until unless if you don't read the Prabhupada books line by line very scrutinizingly, if you don't understand the principles very scrutinizingly, otherwise you will be in the trap of cheating. So that's why books are the basis. One has to study these books with the, also should understand the Prabhupada's commentaries in better way by following the previous acharyas. By in the light of the previous acharyas commentaries, you can understand very clearly. That is also important. That is also one Maya. That means you are trying to disconnect Srila Prabhupada from the other gurus, other acharyas, and then you are conveniently playing with the philosophy. Then it is nothing but what? It's spoiling the society actually. It's attacking. Maya will make you alone now. First of all the correction methods, now you are disconnecting on the name of surrenderance to the Prabhupada. Disconnecting all the possible correcting methods, because if you take up all the other references also, then you have to answer those also. Then better is what? First to make such a, it also looks, wow, is such a dedicated soul for this Srila Prabhupada. And after that what? Then play with the philosophy from the books. Prabhupada told, but Prabhupada told he's not matching with the Acharya's commentary. What is this? So once again, that's why the ways very, very subtly it will enter into the society and it will destroy like anything. You will not understand that This is already damaging the society. You'll not understand. It looks that everything is beautiful and flourishing and expanding and so joining hundreds of people, thousands of people. But inside it is going दीमक लग रहा है.
Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when he saw that his neophytes, the number of his neophytes disciples were increasing, then he decided to leave the planet. It is mentioned in Bhakti Siddhanta Vaibhav.
Yes.
When Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he observed that the number of his neophyte disciples were increasing, and then he decided to leave the planet early. Actually, he was destined to live for some more time, but then he was not so happy with the increasing number of his neophyte disciples. So he left the planet earlier than he should have. It is recorded in Bhakti Siddhanta Vaibhav.
Yes. Thank you. Next purport in this chapter.
This pastime from devotees, Mayapur pastime, when they told the duties of Panchtattva. So that time devotee told that he was saying in the lecture that Prabhupada was crying and he said Krishna demands surrender. But Lord Chaitanya is so kind, he doesn't demand surrender. So what it means?
So doesn't demand surrender. So if you don't surrender,
They quote this Prabhupada pastime.
What it mean?
Prabhupada said to his disciples that Krishna demands surrender. Sadharma, he said, but the Lord Chaitanya does not demand. They are so kind, they don't demand even surrender.
So that's why I opened this topic. So ultimately, so that means all the other, that means Ananya Bhakti starts with the full surrenderance, Sampurna Shraddha, then everything is, then it's a one kind of what, then there is no need to follow any Madhuri Kadambini or otherwise Bhakti Rasam Sindhu, nothing actually then what is this then Bhagavad is also always saying about the Shraddha, that means Purna Shraddha. So what it mean actually? That means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't expect surrenderance, means what it mean? That means Sharanagati is not there, that means you have Sharanagati in others also. What it mean actually? What is that? One should explain that. It's not that that means he's not at all expecting. Then what is the other slokas? We are asking from this side actually, this angle. Then what about the other Shastra actually?
And also, about discussing on the same point, one devotee told me there are so many Prabhupada disciples, and they simply followed Prabhupada, and they went from back home to Godhead. They always says this. Who's found
it? Any pure devotee never violate the Shastra actually. This we have to understand. Shastra, Guru and Sadhus all are aligned. And all our program, our morning program, our evening program, whatever our schedule, everything is based upon the Shastras. And nothing, no event, even our Diksha, everything is based upon Shastra actually. The process, the way the Prabhupada conducted the whole movement is completely backed up by the Srimad Bhagavatam. Every mission, whatever he is having, and very systematically it is backed up. Yeah, these are all big, but nowhere actually you can see in the Acharya's commentaries or otherwise Srila Prabhupada, Desh Kala Patra, only secondary principles can be changed. The principles of Bhakti itself, if you Ananya Bhakti definition itself, if you change, that means what is this? That means it is clearly said by the Acharyas, previous Acharyas, clearly said. So Shraddha means Purna Shraddha, 100%, complete surrenderance. So that is the beginning of the Ananya Bhakti, he said. Rupa Goswami himself, the founder Acharya of this philosophy, the founder, that means the first writer, he is compiling this. And now, so yes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not expecting any surrender, means what it mean actually. Then what about this? It can be only the That means what is the reference actually? Reference and Shastra. Where is the reference? In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, is it like that? Written like that? Shambhalam Prabhu. Is it written like that? I don't know actually. So that means these words are looking like encouraging, but it should not make lazy to follow the real philosophy. It should be only to just to encourage. If you say like that, it's different. But at the end of the day, one should understand the real philosophy, facts and figures rightly, and he should correct himself. Otherwise, then whole chunk of the philosophy is completely, all other books are out, then everything comes under on the level of sentimentalism. We are not de-emphasizing the purpose and the glory of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that means, but how to understand then the other injunctions given in the Bhagavatam and Acharya's definitions. What about then Anyabhilasha Sunyam? Gnana Karma Dhyanavrutam means what then?
Because you raised this point, I just want to know the proper answer to, means when we are in other temples, if these issues will open, then how to answer this? Means nowadays even devotees also, they want to do, they want to read scrutinizingly. They do not want to do any hard tax or any hard sevas. So usually they prefer to hear this kind of statements, like my Mahaprabhu is more merciful. And if you tell them the proper answer, then they said that you are more fanatic, or you are when you show your intelligence, or you don't want to accept the mercy of Mahaprabhu. So how to convince this kind of devotees or this kind of people? Means what is the proper way? Means we focus about scriptural point of view, or what is our?
So anything, whatever. So Shastra is a pramana. If they want to speak anything, so they has to speak based upon the scriptures. If that is the foundational statement is there and Acharya explained that statement, that means so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is more merciful than the Krishna and he never demands the surrenderance. And so that explanation Prabhupada gave, so then we have to take that. So unnecessarily, if it is not really mentioned anywhere and someone created and or it is propagated now, and now why we have to take so much importance for those statements? So we have to see where it is explained. So and what is authentic explanation of that. So why I have to accept the statement? First of all, if it is there, then I have to show me then. It's not that why we have to reject. It's not that they're rejecting the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself told to write the books to the Rupa Goswami. All he and his prime disciple wrote. Jiva Goswami also and his prime disciples, they wrote this definition. Then why don't they mention? They should not mention Anyabhilasha Sunyam. Then they should remove that. Whoever take the shelter of the, that means just so Mahaprabhu is there for everything. So do the bhakti of Mahaprabhu. Finish.
I heard in lectures of senior devotees, they mentioned that first of all, we need to understand what is the mercy of Mahaprabhu. This is what is largely misunderstood in ISKCON society. They say that the Prabhuji told us that actually the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are his instructions, are his teachings. You know, and when we see the personal life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when we read Chaitanya Chaitamrita, then we see how strict Mahaprabhu was. You know, how strict he was. What Chota Haridas did actually.
Yes.
He just lost fully. He glanced at a woman and he rejected him.
Yes.
You know. So we have to consider everything actually. What is
actually Mahaprabhu's real mercy is, that means he extracted the pure devotion. This is actually real mercy. Whatever the Rupa Goswami gave in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, that is a really revolutionary philosophy brought out from the Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is the real mercy actually. So accepting the words of the Rupa Goswami as it is and following him as it is the real mercy of the Mahaprabhu actually. Because we should be following the Rupa Goswami as it is. There should not be deviation. then only you can go back to the Godhead. Then only you can get the mercy of the Mahaprabhu also. We should be the Rupanugas. And Jiva Goswami, as it is, he followed the Rupa Goswami. As it is. And Vishwanath Chakravarti is directly following the Rupa Goswami. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur is completely surrendered to all these previous acharyas. And Prabhupada, every purport in every line, he is following them. Yes. Huh? Yeah. Yes. Because first, that means Anyavilasha Sunyam Gnana Karma Dhanavrutam. This is our backbone actually. This is a great, that means the cream of the Gaudiya Vaishnavism. And this formula made by the Rupa Goswami, which is taught by the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to him. So that's why this is really a revolution actually in this Kali Yuga actually. But other sampradayas, they don't have such a refined definition of the bhakti. They accept karmarpanam also as dasyam, one of the direct limb of the ninefold bhakti. Sri Vaishnavas, they accept karmarpanam also as dasyam. But Rupa Goswami refined that also. No karmarpanam. And our stages, our beginning itself is our after Shraddha, our bhajanikri itself is a very elevated step actually. So our bhajana kriya and sadhu sangha, bhajana kriya, anardhani vritti, our anardhani vritti is really, it's not a joke actually. And that's why we should become very serious. It's not that they very difficult and leave it. No. That is the Gaudiya Vaishnavism. We should be such as, that means very scrutinizingly we have to see that where is our dependency, whether we are depending on the Lord or whether we are depending on the other objects. Yes. So that's why it's we have the best literature compared to all other Vaishnavas. Our literature is extraordinary actually. All acharyas, so many books. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, more than 100 books. Rupa Goswami, Jiva Goswami, how many books they wrote? And all the sandarbhas, that means he churned out from the Srimad Bhagavatam, from all the scriptures. And Srila Prabhupada, so many books they wrote. No sampradaya is having such a vast literature. And if we are neglecting, then see how many people are coming to our places. First of all, you should understand the principles, then you can practice. You don't know and simply saying that, oh, service. Yeah, what is that? To understand service, you should know what is the principles of devotion. Without proper understanding, simply speculating and just whatever you assume that is a devotion, that's wasting of the time. Yeah, if we don't read the Bhakti Rasamrita very scrutinizingly, every line, every word, very scrutinizingly, you will never understand actually what is the pure devotion. Then immediately you can be deviated from the pure devotion. So on the name of pure devotion, you will be taking up something and sahaja you will become. Then there is a great danger actually. That's why Bhakti Rasamrita is very, very important. Many people, there is a misunderstanding, complete misunderstanding on the first Anyabhilasha itself, wrong, gone. Gaya काम से. Okay. In this chapter, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna explains the different characteristics of a conditioned and liberated life, the symptoms by which one can recognize saintly persons, and the various processes of devotional service to the Lord. In the previous chapter, Uddhava inquired from the Lord how conditioned and liberated life are possible. The Lord now replies that Uddhava's question is somewhat superficial, since the pure spirit soul is never entangled in the material energy of the Lord. The living entity imagines a false connection with the three modes of material nature and accepts the material body as the self. The living entity therefore suffers the consequences of his own imagination, just as one suffers the illusory activities of a dream. The only fundamental problem is Jivatma is not surrendering to the Lord. That's why, that means it's not turning towards. That means as much as you turn towards, that means as much as you surrender to the Lord, that much you will be relieved from the Maya, clutches of the Maya. If you are not surrendering, then Maya will catch you very tightly. So as much as you turn towards him, then Maya releases you. So when you are fully surrendered, then Maya completely leaves you out. Then after that, purification will happen very fast. So the bhajana kriya, that means after the full surrender, that means after Shraddha to the prema, to reach very quick, actually it will happen. Because you are fully surrendered to the Lord and doing the bhajan. Then anartha nivritti is a very, very fast it will happen. And we are not surrendered and we are doing the bhajan and thinking that we are trying to see the symptoms of those. And we are thinking that why it is not happening.
With just one question, like those Shraddha, that means first one should have a 100% surrender, correct?
Shraddha means 100%.
100%, correct? Then there is Tattva Sadhu Sang. So can we say when one surrender 100% fully, then only he gets the association of pure devotee, Tattva Sadhu Sang?
Adau Shraddha, Adau Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha means this Sadhu Sangha is not that Sadhu Sangha is two places it is there, na? So Adau itself is a Sadhu Sangha. If you see the Bhakti Rasam Sindhu, so Rupa Goswami, sorry.
Sadhu Sangha, that's true. So
that is Sadhu Sangha and then Shraddha.
Shraddha. And then I'm talking about the second one, the third one.
Then next Sadhu Sangha.
Yeah, and next Sadhu Sangha comes again.
This Sadhu Sangha is, that means Jivatma from the beginningless, it is Vimukha, and Sadhu Sangha is the cause for this Jivatma to begin his Sammukyam. Sammukyam means turning towards the absolute truth. That means this sadhu can be Gnani or Bhakta. If he is a Gnani, then he will go to the left wing. If he is a Bhakta, then he will come to the right wing. So, okay. So, this Sadhu Sangha also includes the bona fide spiritual master. So, if you see Srila Prabhupada's, where is that audio I sent? Bhakti Vedantas. See Prabhupada how he is explaining. I will open that and where is that Bhakti Vedanta. Bhakti Vedanta. Kya hai wo gadi? Thiru? No, wait. Bhakti. Okay. Give me. I will. So Prabhupada, what is saying? Adau. Achha. As it is explained, the first business is Adau. In the beginning, Guru Ashrayam. Guru Ashrayam means to take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. Adau means what? Beginning. Guru Ashrayam. This is Adau. Adau means Guru Ashrayam. When it will take place? When there is Shraddha, he is saying. Okay? That means he is saying when there is a meeting, when person got a little faith. What he is saying? When person got a little faith. Okay? That means when they come in association, he has little faith and he sit down and hear from the sadhu. Okay. A higher stage of Shraddha. And the higher stage of the Shraddha is completely accept the instructions of Krishna. So that means this little faith being in this bona fide spiritual master and association. So you are keep on, that means hearing from him. So Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and others. So then it will completely, so he is seeing the word, what word he is using. So, and the higher stage of the Shraddha, when this Shraddha becomes high, then completely, so you are becoming complete. And the higher stage of the Shraddha is to completely accept the instruction of Krishna. Full acceptance. This is full acceptance of instructions of Krishna. In Chet. That is the highest stage of Shraddha. In the lower stage, little faith. So this is Kanishta Shraddha. Sudruda. This is Shraddha. Sudruda Shraddha. Prabhupada is clearly saying Shraddha means Shabde Vishwas, Shastrartha Vishwasa. Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshishyam. This is the Shraddha actually. That is Shraddha. Sarvadharman Parityaj. In Adho also they have Shraddha, but that is Kanishta Shraddha. So when that matures and full it becomes, then that is known as Shraddha. That means Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Raja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo. That is the beginning of, that is the definition of Shraddha, Sudruda Shraddha. So that's why Ananya Bhakti, who is qualified Madhyama and Uttama, not the Kanishta. So you should have full Shraddha, then only you can, so in the platform of Ananya Bhakti. What is the difference between Madhyama Adhikari Shraddha and Uttama? So Uttama can give the Shastra Yukti also for the Shraddha. So he will be supporting that with the Shastra with logic. And in Madhyama case, he is also having full Shraddha, but he is missing, he is not able to explain. That is the point.
And Gopal Prabhu.
Yes, Adoksha.
Yeah, let's continue here.
Like Adho Shraddha, then again come Sadhu Sangha, correct?
This Sadhu Sangha, what you are asking.
That's what
yes.
yeah.
This Sadhu Sangha is after getting the Shraddha, so you are coming in association of the sadhus, so to do the bhajan actually. Bhajan, that means this Sadhu Sangha is leading to our bhajan kriya. That means in what kind of devotion you want to do. That here Gurupada ashram is also there. That's the bhajana guru's ashram you take. So because you are fully surrendered to the bhakti now, you need the guru to guide you in the properly bhajan actually.
Bhajan Guru we can say.
Yeah, bhajana guru. Like in the Bhakti Sandarbha we studied, bhajana guru is also one of the guru among these gurus. So then that bhajan guru will instruct to whom we should associate. So that's why in the Madhuri Kadamani you can see in the instruction of the guru, so one is associating with such a favorable devotees who are favorable to that. That is Sri Vaishnava devotees, they should not associate with the Gaudi Vaishnavas. Gaudi Vaishnavas should not go and associate the Bhajananandi, Bhajan Guru Sahib, Bhajan Sadhu Sahib, the Vaishnava, Sri Vaishnava. So that is that Sadhu Sangha. This Sadhu Sangha is not the cause for the beginning of our bhakti. No. Already here itself over.
It's over.
An Adav, yes.
But that Bhajan Guru in Sadhu Sangha, that Bhajan Guru is coming, he must be a pure devotee, correct?
Definitely.
Yes.
Who knows the expertly how to do bhajan? He is expert in the bhajan.
But we can also say that when one have a 100% faith, correct?
Yeah, yes.
Full surrender, then only he gets the association of a pure devotee. That's what can we say like this?
So 100% Shraddha whenever he's having, then so this is what this is actually is telling. So 100% Shraddha is demanded. So this instruction whatever Rupa Goswami gave Ado Shraddha Sadhu Sangha, so here clearly clarifying that if you want to do Ananya Bhakti, you should become like this. Like that we should take.
Clear.
Yeah. Okay, Adokshaj Prabhu.
Yeah, sometimes we're hearing also from scriptures or also in Bhagavatam some statements about Shraddha, but Shraddha means Nishtha.
No. Shraddha and Nishtha is steadiness. Shraddha means faith. So Nishtha, so many times we understand that Nishtha is equal to Shraddha sometimes, but Nishtha is very different. Steadily doing. Bhajan, if you are becoming steady, you are doing steadily bhajan, then that is known as Nishtha. Nishtha means steadiness. Shraddha means faith. Both are having different meanings. Here in this, the Ado Shraddha Sadhu Sangha Bhajana Kriya, their Nishtha means steadiness, not the faith. It's not synonym of the Shraddha. Anishtita Bhakti, Nishtita Bhakti. So from the Nishtha onwards, Nishtita, that means he will not fall into the sleep. That means while the sleeping we are, so while the chanting we are feeling sleepy, means we are not the Nishtita Bhakti, no. It's Anishtita. But first of all, we can see, you can, even we are not fully surrendered, but something we can see those characteristics in our bhakti also. But the really beginning of the pure devotion starts with the full surrenderance. Okay, we'll go to next sloka. Shokamohau sukham dukkam deha pattischa mayaya swapno yathatmanah khyatihi samsrutirnatu vastavi. The translation: just as a dream is merely a creation of one's intelligence but has no actual substance, similarly material lamentation, illusion, happiness, distress, and the acceptance of the material body under the influence of Maya are all creations of my illusory energy. In other words, material existence has no essential reality. So what is said here? Soka mohau sukham dukkam deha pattischa Mayaya. The Atma is completely transcendental, and Shoka Moha, that means lamentation and illusion, pleasure, so-called happiness, dukkham, misery, distress, all are because of Maya. Swapna yata atmanah kyatihi samsrutir natu vastavi. They are not real, like dream. So here Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary. Tatra bandhasya mityatva prakaram darshayati shoka moho iti. What we understood from the first sloka, Maya, the relationship between Maya and Jivatma is mithya. Is mithya. Not the Maya is mithya. Jagat mithya, that means Brahma Satyam, that is not the right statement. Jagat is also Satyam, but the relationship of Jivatma with this Jagat is mithya. So that like that we should say Jiva Jagato Sambandha Mitya. So Dehapatti Deha Dehantara Prapti Dehasya Apattir Apat Mrityurva Mayaya Mayikaha Mayukopadhi Sambandhena Avidyaya Mayukopadau Antःkarane Sukshmadehe Jivasya Abhimanadev Tadiya Dharmanam Sokamohadinam Api Sviyatvena Grahanam Ityardaha. So what is said? What is said here? Mayukopadau Antःkarane Sukshmadehe Jivasya Abhimanitvat. Jivasya Abhimana. Jivatma and Jivasya Antakaranam. This is in Antakaranam, Sukha Dukkham, all these are all properties of what? Antakaranam, mind. That means Sukha Dukkham, these are all qualities of whose qualities? Sukham, Dukkham, Moham, Maya. These are all the properties of the subtle body. Sukham, Dukkham, all are where they present? They present in the subtle body actually. And this is Jivatma. And this Jivatma is covered by what? This is Avidya. Because of this Avidya, this Jivatma is claiming these qualities, Sukham, Dukkham, all as its own qualities. So that's why I am happy, I am sorrow. So like that it is saying. Because this Jivatma is because of this Avidya covering. So it is, so which are really properties of the mind, Antakaranam, that means subtle body. Those properties also Jivatma claiming. Because it is entering Abhinivesha, that means Suddho Vichaste. Vichaste means entering into, that means Abhinivesha, that means it is imposing on himself all the qualities of the Antakaranam on itself. This is a problem actually. So Jivatma is changing body after body, and so whenever it is changing, so it is getting the different qualities as it's Tadiya Dharmanam Sokamohadinam Sviyatvena Grahanam Ityartha. This is the meaning. Sokamoho Sukadukkam Dehapatisya Maya Swapno Yatha Atmanah. Like you see in the dream, so you are this and you are having the dream. In the dream you have seen so many objects, but all those are all what? So after getting up, after coming to the awakening stage, so all these objects are not you, not yours. In the dream you are thinking that you are the king and you have the kingdom, you have the horses, you have the elephants, all this. But when after waking up, where? Gone. That means in the dreaming stage only they are belonging to you, but not yours. Similarly, these are all like you are in the, because of this covering of the avidya, so these are all so looking like your own, our own, but actually these are all not ours, like a dream. Like a dream. Ataha sokamohadi matva lakshana samsrutir na vastavi. So that's why Jivatma getting the material happiness, material sorrow, these are all what? This kind of flow, sansruti is, that means in the body after body, it is getting all this. It's simply what? It's not vastavi. Vastavi in respect of what? In respect of soul. Because those are all not the real qualities of the soul. Those are all the dharmas, characteristics, qualities of the Maya, subtle body. But because falsely it is identifying the relationship with them. So now Vastu Bhuta. Now Vastu Bhuta means, Vastu means which is existing all the time, which is existing in the three times, in the three, so that means in the three times. That means in the past, in the present, and also in the future. So then you can say that is Vastu. Vastu means the one which exists in the all the times, past, present, and future. So if these are all, that means the Sukham Dukkham are, when can you say real of the with the Jivatma? When they are existing in relationship with the Jivatma eternally, then you can say the Sukham Dukkham are belong to its, but they are not existing with him. There it is not having, the Jivatma is not having the, so permanently those. So that's why samsara is also is not real. In this way we say samsara is not real. But Mayavadis, Advaitins, they say in another way actually. Completely they will violate everything. न वस्तुभूत शोकमोहादीन माया सृष्टत्वेन सत्यत्वेव तत्संबंधस्य जीवे अविद्या कल्पितत्वात्. Who is the cause for this? That means who is the cause? This is a subtle body. Subtle bodies, these qualities sukham dukkham are now claimed. Jivatma is claiming these are own by what? By because of avidya. This is avidya. Avidya kalpitatva. Sambandha. So avidya is making the bridge between this jivatma and these qualities. So that's why Bahiranga Shakti is having the different functions. What are those? Avidya, that's Bahiranga Shakti or Maya, or otherwise what you say this as Mahamaya. Bahiranga Shakti or Mahamaya is having the different functions. What is that? Avidya, next Vidya, next what? Prakriti, next karma, yes, and also kala. Kala is also one type of, it's not energy, but we don't say it's directly Bahiranga Shakti, but it is not there in the spiritual world also. Maybe kala I have heard out, but this. So subtle body is coming from where? From the this. And karma is another element. Karma is not coming from Prakriti. And avidya is also not coming from the Prakriti. This Prakriti is leading to 23 elements. Okay? Generally people think that Prakriti means Bahiranga Shakti. This much only. They violate all this. Karma, avidya and all this. Next sloka.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Yeah, this karma is, which property is that?
Karma is also one of the element. It is not the coming from the Prakriti.
Yeah,
karma
but is it like yeah, which property is that? Separate, or is it some energy? But how
some energy of the Bahiranga Shakti.
Yeah.
It is energy of the Bahiranga Shakti.
Okay. This is not.
That means that means Vedavihita karma. So then it is giving you, that means it is storing actually in the form of the karma, whatever the, so your past karma.
Yeah.
Activities are stored in the form of karma.
Okay.
That thing I am saying, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Next sloka. Vidya vidye mamatanu vidyuddava saririnam moksha bandhakari adye Maya me vinirmite. Okay, next. So in the last sloka, so Krishna is explaining the whole philosophy. What is this liberation and bondage? So for Vidya avidye. Mamatanu vidyudva saririna moksha bandhakari atye. Nanu kya kayam avidya yaya mithya bhutopi guna sambandha sporitah tatraha vidya vidye mamatanu tanyete banda moksha abhyam iti tanu shakti saririnam banda mokshakari banda mokshakaryo avidya bandakari ityartha imecha me mama mayaya महाशक्त्या विनिर्मिते सृष्टे किंच माया वृत्तित्वा देवतयोः माया सृष्टत्वम् औपचारिकम् एव उच्यते इत्याह आद्ये अनादि अनाद्यनन्त अव्यक्तं नित्यं कारणम् अव्ययम् इति द्वादशोक्तेः पुंसः अस्ति प्रकृतिर्नित्या इति वेद्योक्तैश्च माया शक्तिरिव तद्वृत्ति विद्या विद्ये अपि नित्ये एव तदेव मायायाः तिस्रो वृत्तयः प्रधानं विद्या अविद्या च प्रधानेन उपाधिः सत्येव सृज्यते अविद्यया तद् अध्यातात्तः मिथ्याभूतः. So vidya upararama iti tisrunam karyam. So here you can say Bahiranga Shakti in a gross way. So he is classifying into three. What is that? Avidya. Avidya is cause for bondage. His Vishwanath Chakravarti is saying Vidya is cause for liberation. Liberation. And Pradhana. Pradhana is for the what? Is for the body. Upadhi. These are all products of Bahiranga Shakti Maya. Vidya is also, so that's why two types of Vidya are there. Two types of Avidya is there. Maya is also having the Avidya and Vidya, and also Yoga Maya is also having the Vidya and Avidya. That Vidya is about the Lord's knowledge. This is for the liberation. And Bhagavat Gnanam. Bhagavat Gnanam is what? Is Vidya. The glories of the Lord. So Bhagavat Gnanam. This is of what? This is a product of whom? Sarupa Shakti. Okay? Avidya. So the one which hides, the Aishwarya Gnanam of Aishwarya Gnanam about Lord. Like in the spiritual world, if you go into Goloka, so you will be forgetting the Aishwaryam, the opulence of the Lord. That is because of spiritual avidya. Spiritual avidya hides. You are the servant and servant and he is master. That means he is the master. Master means he is the supreme personality of Godhead. So that is hidden. So that means there the Gopas, they are like acting like a friends. It's not that I am an insignificant living entity and you are the creator of everything. So all the time feeling hesitation to meet. Is it like that? No. Avidya is doing that. He's hiding that. Okay. So this is spiritual avidya and vidya due to Sarupa Shakti. And here also in the Bahiranga Shakti also avidya vidya is there. This avidya is for bondage and this vidya is meant for the liberation. Okay. And this is pradhanam is there here and here also. So Lord's Shakti is there and that is giving the spiritual body. Lord's Shakti. You will get the spiritual body by using the bhakti. So you will get the spiritual body. Here also you'll be getting the body. Here material body, here spiritual body. But same, Jivatma will be same. Here also will be there Jivatma and here also Jivatma. Same. These things are, there is no difference. Only just replacing Maya with the Yoga Maya with Maha Maya with Yoga Maya. This. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Ah.
Can you please repeat the Bhagavat Gnanam, which is the Swarupa Shakti, in this case, the avidya, what does it actually cover the jiva with? The
Jiva's
relation
knowledge about the Supreme Lord's Aishwarya.
about the
Opulence.
Aishwarya part of it, it covers the jiva there.
Yeah. In the Goloka, Jivatma is not knowing that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Jivatma is just knowing that he is my friend, he is my lover, he is my son, like that. So that means his opulence has to be covered. That means Jivatma's knowledge has to be covered by that some avidya.
Okay. And what does the vidya do?
Vidya does so which reveals the glories of the Lord. Knowledge about the Lord.
And what provides the body, the spiritual body? What is that power, that energy called as?
That energy is specific name, not some with Sandhi. We can say Sandhini, but is knowledge actually. But it's not exactly given at Sandhini like that. I used to say, but it's not given exactly like that. Body is coming from that. So you can say so Bhakti when you do so, it is itself is Bhakti Shakti is giving the body to you. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So now that's why here he's saying here Vidya means don't understand that oh this Vidya is a spiritual. No. This Vidya is also material. Huh? Is also product of Maya. So that's why when Jivatma is covered by the avidya, so especially it is for liberation, it's not for the devotion. This vidya is not cause for the devotion. No, this is cause for the liberation actually. So when you come to know, that means you are not body, you are the soul. That means when you do the Nishkama Karma Yoga, that means when you offer the results of the karma with the Tyaga Buddhi to the Lord, then what will happen? You will be coming to the, and you will be understanding from the Upanishads. So into the goodness, and you are coming to into the goodness. You are understanding from the scriptures, you are not the body and you are the soul. So all these instructions, when you hear these instructions, and from that instructions, what is coming? Arani. 2 Aranis are there. Yes? 2 Aranis where? When we heard this, in this class only. Oh yeah. 2 Aranis are there. This is the under lower one and upper one. Upper Arani is a student, lower Arani is a teacher, and in that there is a one more wood. That's a sandhana. So that is the instructions. These are what? Instructions from the scriptures, and from this fire is coming. Then that fire is known as Vidya. When student hear about the Brahman, about the position of the Jivatma from the Guru in the form of instructions, after understanding those instructions, so knowledge he gains, that is known as Vidya. Okay, Mataji is sleeping. Very good. So this is Vidya. So that's why as much as that means you hear from the Guru, it means you went into the Yoga Marga. That means after the detachment, you entered into the Yoga Marga and doing the Yama Nima and associating the Guru. So in under his directions, you are keep on hearing the Vedanta Sutras and Upanishads. So about the living entity and about the Jiva. So then what will happen? Then so that will be destroying the avidya and making the Vidya layer to this. This is also known as Vaisharadi. Name of this Vidya is Vidya Vaisharadi. Okay. If this Jivatma has to get liberation, then this Vidya also should not be there. So then what? By using further sadhana, by using the element of bhakti, so this is destroyed. So then this Jivatma is completely liberated. Avidya is removing the bondage. Sorry, Vidya is removing the bondage, destroying the avidya. But that Vidya also you should leave, because that is also product of Maya. So Esha Uparata, Vaisharadi Uparata. In the first canto, third chapter, in the Brahman realization, it's explained. So Yadyeshoparata Devi Maya Vaisharadi Matihi Sampanna Yeveti Vidur Mahimni Sve Mahiyate. Okay. Now what Krishna is saying here, this Vidya and Avidya both are the my body. Mamatanu Vidyuddhava, my dear Uddhava, no, you should know this. You are my body, Saririnam, Moksha Bandhakari, Adhye, Maya. They are when they are from the beginningless. Adhya means so from the beginningless there. Anadikala. Very, very, that means starting. Those will not be destroyed. Who are from the beginningless, they will be for the endless. So those will not, but what our Advaitins they say, Avidya will be finished, then everything is finished, then there is only Brahman. The concept is what is that?
So you are saying that Vaisharati, the yogi and jnani, they use for the liberate from this material world. So simultaneously they are using the activities of devotion, right? So without following that activity.
That means they might have done some lesha matra bhakti in this whole process. That is going to save.
Without taking help of that
Bhakti.
lesha matra bhakti.
Yes.
And this Vaisharati
is not broken actually. Is not removed actually.
cannot fully support, right? Because he is taking simultaneously.
That means every step, every process, Yama Nima also, any sadhana, you should remember one fundamental point. Any sadhana so cannot produce result without support of bhakti. Any sadhana, yajna, tapas, because no activity in this material world can be perfect. Even dana, if you do anything little bit, also some dosha will be there. In the place, in the time, maybe in that what time you are giving, the time may be the defective, or the and otherwise place may be the defective, or otherwise person may be defective. So any activity, any karma, or any activity, any gnana, or any karma sadhana, any gnana sadhana, yoga sadhana, any sadhana, if it wants to give result, it needs to be supported by the bhakti.
My understanding is using that Vaisharati, it is liberate him from bondage of this material world, but taking the supporting of teacher Bhakti, he is reaching the
he is merging into Brahman. Sahajya Mukti is getting because of the bhakti. That cannot be done by the Vaisharadi Vidya. Okay. Adya means Anadi, you should take here. Srila Vishwanath is saying. That means they are from the beginningless. Anadyanantam avyaktam nityam karanam avyayam iti dvadashok what is it? Dvadashoktehe. That means Dvadash means 12th canto. Okay, acha. Anyway, so now I will see Vishwanath. Sorry, Jiva Goswami's commentary on this. He is explaining even more clearly. What he is saying, see. Katam tatraha vidya iti ataha vastutah nityamuktah api pratitah nadi baddha iti युगपद उभयत्वं घटते इत्यर्थः। अत्र अत्र मे मम मायया शक्त्या कर्त्र्या तनु स्वदृष्टान्त रूपत्वात् स्वांश रूपे अतः एवं अनादि ये निर्मिते प्रसारिते ते मम मम शरीराणां मदीयानां मोक्षबन्धकार्यो सो भवतः इति स्थिते सा धर्मराजवत् भक्तः भयं द्वितीयाभिनिवेशितः स्यादिति न्यायेन यस्य यावन् मद्वैमुख्यं तस्य तावद् अविद्यां प्रसार्य स्वरूपावरण पूर्वकं गुणावेशं कुर्वति बंधं करोति मत् सामुख्ये तु गुणावेशात्याजन पूर्वकं स्वस्वरूपणं कुर्वति मोक्षं करोति इति ज्ञेयम्. What a wonderful explanation. So Jiva Goswami rocked here. Third sloka. कहाँ सो गए? तो एसेंस चल रहे हैं पूरा, तुम सोते रहो. This is a very important point here. Now Jiva Goswami is explaining. Many times we discussed, but how Vidya and Avidya, which are products of the Maya, cause for the liberation and bondage, that we will be seeing now. We'll be seeing now. Third sloka only. These are all products of the Maya. So see, this is Jivatma from the beginningless, from Anadi Kala. It is not having the Paratattva Gnanam. Paratattva Gnanam it is not having. That is nothing but Vimukata. Okay? Bhagavad Vimukata. Vimukata is there. So now, then what? Maya will come into the picture. Then what it will do in the next step? Maya will attack. So Maya is attacking and covering this Swarupa Gnanam of the Jivatma by using the Avidya. Okay? This Maya is what it is doing? It is covering the Jivatma Swarupa Gnanam by using the Maya Shakti. What is that? That is Avidya. Okay? So then after that, this Maya is one more product is there. Is there Pradhana? Maya's another Shakti is what? Pradhana. By using that Pradhana, it is giving the Jivatma's Avidya and subtle and gross bodies. Subtle and gross bodies it is giving. So then this Jivatma is thinking himself as, then this Jivatma is entering. This Jivatma, due to this Avidya, whatever the qualities are there in the subtle body, that means Sukham Dukkham. So okay, all those, so this Jivatma is claiming as its own. Okay?
Venugopal Prabhu.
Adakshis Prabhu, yes.
Yeah. This two Shakti, Savaranatmika Shakti and Prakshipatmika Shakti.
No need of those terminologies. It's not from our Acharyas. It's from Sridhar Swami.
Okay.
We are not seeing anywhere that.
Okay, we told that.
Avaranatmaka Prakshipatmika. So, okay, you can remember like this, okay?
Yeah, I mean this parallel or not.
Yeah, let's follow this. So, Jivatma is now covered by the, so is claiming itself as this subtle body is himself. This way it is known as Viparyaya Gnanam. That means Viparyaya. That means Viparita Gnanam, or Viparyaya means Viparita Gnanam. That means reverse knowledge. It is identifying. Here by the Avidya, it is forgot what he is, but here because of the subtle body, so you're getting that subtle body through this Avidya, so it is thinking that itself as body. That means Viparita Gnanam. In the next step, it is getting the Viparita Gnanam. Then after that, what happens? This is entering into, so then Jivatma is claiming whatever the Sukham Dukkham are coming as his own Sukham Dukkham. Then it is getting the, so because of Bhayam Dvitiya Abhiniveshita. So it is getting the gross and subtle body, and also after the next step is, it is entering into those bodies. That means it is claiming those properties of that bodies as his own properties. So that is known as Abhinivesha. Abhinivesha. That means claiming or absorbing into, or claiming the properties of subtle and gross bodies as his own properties, is known as what? Bhayam, fear. So now this is the role of avidya we learned. Now what is the vidya role we'll be seeing? Vidya role, now you have this Maya. Now you are trying to develop about the knowledge about what? Brahman. Knowledge about Brahman you are trying to get. Then what this Maya will do? So Vishwanath Chakravarti is writing. So Bandha Karoti, and she is like what? Maya is like Yamaraj. Whoever is doing mistake, Yamaraj is punishing. Similarly, whoever is not having the Paratattva Gnanam, knowledge about the Supreme Lord, so they are trapped by they are controlled by Maya. So that's why Maya is like Yamaraj. Yamaraj is also Bhakta, and Maya is also Bhakta. She is also Bhakta. Okay. So she gave the bondage to Jivatma through avidya. So what she can do one next? So whoever is binding, he only will release or not? So he will only release. So that's why she is only releasing using the facility of the vidya. What is that? You see, mat samukyetu gunaveshatyajana purvakam. So that means when this Jivatma turns towards the Lord like this, towards the Lord, then what will happen? When that means it is telling knowing about the Brahman, then what will happen? Swarupanam swarupa spuranam kurvati moksham karoti. Then she will remove this avidya, and she will be so developing to this Jivatma vidya, because it is turning towards the Lord. So that's why it develops the vidya layer to it. Moksham karoti iti gneyam. It's not that so as much as one is, that means knowing about the Brahman, so the absence of avidya is happening, that is not going to happen, but the creation of the vidya is happening. Absence of avidya is also going on. There is one more activity happening, creation of the vidya. Many times people think that the only avidya is going out. There is no need of considering one more element, vidya. But it's not like that. In the case of devotee, Maya is no directly. So Swarupa Shakti will be acting on them. It is in the case of the Jnanis. Liberation and the bondage in the case of the Jnanis. So moksham karoti gne ataha tasyaha eva tayoho kartrutve. So that means these two, bondage and liberation, both are the activities of the Maya. Condition is what? When bondage and when liberation it do. So condition is Paratattva Gnanam. Absence of Paratattva Gnanam, bondage. Presence of Paratattva Gnanam, so liberation. In the absence, so it creates the avidya. In the presence, it gives the vidya.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Is there any opportunity for the jiva, either through the power of avidya or the vidya, that he can actually make an effort to turn towards Paratattva Jnanam?
Prabhu?
Or it is independent of that?
What is that?
When a jiva is covered by avidya, and then when he makes an effort towards turning towards Swarupa Gnana, where the vidya part actually starts to take an effect, I want to understand whether avidya or vidya in itself has this potency to make the jiva turn towards the Lord, or
No.
it is independent of that?
It's independent of that. Only sadhu can do that.
So in essence, either a person, whether he is covered by vidya or he is covered by, by vidya in this case, it can only happen with the interference of a sadhu. Before that, there is no question of vidya.
Vidya means already he is with Jivatma is with Vidya means already he is turned towards the, because when Maya gives Vidya, when one turned towards the Lord.
So that turning off towards the Lord is an independent effect. I mean, the factor which the jiva has to pursue.
No, that is not the action of not the action of Maya. That is not the action of the Ishvara. So that means the Jivatma, which is covered by the avidya from the beginningless, how it is turning towards the Lord. So who is the cause? Is Maya is the cause? No. Ishvara is the cause? No. Then who is the cause? Sadhu is the cause. Either Gnani or otherwise Bhakta.
So in essence, the jiva, I mean, out of his good fortune only, he can get a sadhu.
Yes, that's all.
That's the only cause that
Only
we
the
can
solution.
attribute.
It's completely is not in the hands of Jiva. It is hands in the sadhus.
So in this case, does Ishvara, I mean, indirectly inspire a sadhu?
No indirectly inspiration, nothing. Only sadhus free will.
Okay, so this was also previously been discussed in the previous cantos also by you. I just want to reconfirm on this factor.
Yes.
So the Lord does not interfere,
Yes.
and it is only the causeless mercy of the sadhu that he bestows this ability within a jiva out of his compassion.
Yes. If we say Lord's inspiration is there, then big problem will come. Then why he is not inspiring to, in case of every Jivatma? Why they are not liberated every? Then
so his partiality will be coming up in the picture.
Yes. And if you say some Agnat Sukriti is a very vague term. It's not a undefined term. You cannot make as a cause.
Okay.
Undefined term cannot be made as a cause for anything.
Does Agyana Sukriti, as it is told that if it gets accumulated, then it turns out to be the opportunity for a sadhu to come in his life? Is it like that?
That is wrong. That's wrong.
Okay. So
that is rejected by the Vishwanath Chakravarti in Madhuri Kadam.
Okay, so it's pretty clear that a jiva can only turn towards the Lord only if there is an interference of a sadhu.
Only the Sangha, by the association of the sadhu. That's all.
So either he be a jnani or either he be a bhakta.
Yes.
Any of them, then that's the only way that he can return to.
Yes.
This is clear.
Yeah.
Venugopal Prabhu, can you say again the step? First step is avidya. Second step was what?
Second step is Viparita Gnanam.
Viparita Gnanam. You give also some other name. Jivatma will get subtle and gross body. What is the name of this?
It is getting subtle and gross bodies.
Properties. That also
Properties.
mentioned.
It is
Abhinivation.
No.
Viparita.
Viparita Gnanam. Okay.
Viparita Gnanam.
And then third one is
Abhinivesh.
Abhinivesh. Okay.
Then after that Bhayam.
And then Bhayam. Okay.
Okay. Bandha Mokshakari. That means bondage and liberation are by the Maya.
And you told me that that is this two kind of Shakti what I mentioned, that is from Sridhar Swami, or from what we are not using, from where it coming?
Prabhu?
This two Shakti, Avaranatmik and Prakshikatmik, that which from which sadhu came that?
Prabhu, actually that Avaranatma Prakshipatmika, we didn't see, I didn't see anywhere. So it's in the Bhagavad Gita, Sridhar Swami's comment, it is there, I think. Huh?
Sridhar Swami, yeah, I think so also.
Yeah,
I hear it from Gurudev, that's why I asking.
Maybe actually, I will see, but in...
Okay.
We have different terms. That means we have the, what is that? So, Gunamaya, Jivamaya. These terms we use.
Okay.
Jiva Maya and Gunamaya.
Jiva Magma.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, next.
And this is terminology of Jiva Goswami, or from where coming?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good.
I will discuss later. Thank you. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Dhanwad Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Are you feeling well, Prabhuji?
I'm having fever actually. Fever means tiredness and headache.
Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Today you made us to really turn towards the Lord.
Prabhu?
Yes,
Today
yes.
you made us to turn towards the Lord. And with a wonderful explanation right from the time the Uddhava asked the question in the first 3 verses that we took today, and the following 3 verses step by step. So very enthusiastically you have explained it, and I'm really very impressed. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. If these are clear, then Bhagavad Gita also same is repeated. Even the Kapil Dev teachings, everywhere it says Sukadeva Goswami, everywhere you'll be seeing all these concepts and again and again repeated. If you learn at least 11th canto nicely, so all other sections will become very similar actually.
So in my life, you as a sadhu has actually given me this opportunity. Even though I have studied Bhagavad Gita sometime, and even though the other ones, coming to the 11th canto is the sadhu coming in the life. And I believe this is true.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes. Thank
True.
you. Okay, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.